what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Collecting 101. After taking a few weeks off to recharge our batteries, we are ready to go and bringing you guys a ton of these Collecting 101 videos every week. Now, I was looking back at all the old votings we were doing before we took our little hiatus, and every time, second place always seemed to be Viking Glass. So I figured, what better idea for a video to come back to than Viking Glass? So that's the one we're going to tackle today. We're going to talk about the history, the popularity, and of course the value of Viking Glass. So let's start off today with history. Alright, so let's go back to the year 1900, and that is when Viking Glass, or what it was called at that time, which was the New Martinsville Glass Company, was started. Now, they were located in New Martinsville, West Virginia, which was known for its natural gas and its ease of transportation on rail and river, which was a huge advantage for a glass company at that time. Now, they got off to a really rough start, because in 1907, their factory was destroyed by fire and flood. Now, they rebuilt in October of 1907, but it was a devastating start for their company. Now, in 1913, they had a huge flood that destroyed a lot of their glass manufacturing capabilities. So they actually had to rebuild after that, which again, in the first 13 years of your business, that's just a huge blow for your company to take. When they were able to rebuild, they moved to start producing more pressed glass. Now, that quickly expanded into vanities, barwares, inkwells, lamps, as well as crystal figurines. Now, when the Great Depression hit, the New Martinsville Glass Company went bankrupt. But due to their amazing location next to so many great resources to produce quality glass, the Silver Glass Company moved to purchase them in 1938. Now, the company reopened in 1944 under the new name, the Viking Glass Company, due to the popularity of Scandinavian glass was starting to enter the market. Coming out of World War II, the company launched a full-scale ad campaign promoting patriotism, with their products saying, "Handmade in America," or "for use in American homes." Now, the Viking Glass Company was very successful right out of the gate. They became one of the largest, most prolific producers of American glass that embodied the mid-century modern look of the times. Now, by the 1950s, they started adding color to their glass. So you started to see cobalt blue, amber, ebony, and ruby. And by the 1960s, they had over 30 different colors of glass they produced. From 1956 to 1975, the company released its largest product line, called the Epic line. Now, this featured a majority of mid-century modern patterns and colors and was highly successful. Now, during the recession of the early 1980s, the Viking Glass Company struggled mightily, like many Americans did at that time. So much so that in 1984, they had to close their doors. Now, in the early 1990s, the Fostoria Company actually purchased the Viking Glass Company and tried to revive their product line. But they just couldn't compete with the foreign imports coming from overseas. So by 1998, they closed their doors for good. Now, guys, that's really the history of the Viking Glass. Now, I mean, I've seen a lot of patriotism in this glass, and I can see why a lot of people are out there collecting it. So let's get on to the popularity of this glass. Alright, so let's delve into the popularity of Viking Glass. Now, I'm going to highlight different types of Viking Glass, and then I'm going to talk about the popular colors, patterns, as well as styles of Viking Glass that's out there today. So let's start off by highlighting some types of Viking Glass. The first one I'm going to show you is some candlestick holders, which are always popular in the household. Next up are these really unique fruit bowls. And then another one is their candy dishes. And then their vases, which are always popular when we sell at the shop too. And last but not least is going to be probably my favorite pieces of glass that are pretty unique, because obviously there's so many different animals out there. But these are the animal figurine glasses. I always think these are really cool, and they always come up with some really great, unique ways to display these animal glass. All right, so next up, let's talk about the popular colors of Viking Glass. Now, the first one we're going to show you is the evergreen color. And then next is ebony. And then we have the cobalt blue. And then we have the ruby. Next up is amethyst. Then there's cherry glow. And then persimmon, terrible word to say. And then last but not least is charcoal. Again, all very unique and really cool colors for Viking glass that I think you guys should definitely be out there looking for. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is the popular styles of Viking glass. Now, the first one I want to show you is the handkerchief style. Now, this mimics folds of a handkerchief as it is spilled over the hands of somebody. I mean, there's just a really unique style of glass that's out there that I want to show you guys. The next one up is the dramatic elongated lines. Now, these are usually tapered and then flute-like appearance is what they look like. I mean, again, very delicate, very cool pieces of glass. Like I said, these are some of the ones that are very delicate and very, like I said, very nice pieces. And then the last one I'm going to show you for style-wise is that mid-century modern style. I mean, you'll see it in the colors with those oranges and reds and the avocado greens. Very earthy, you know, is how I kind of describe it with the, you know, a mid-century modern. But like I said, very popular, and it's another thing that always comes back around. And right now it is a very popular thing a lot of people are out there looking for. All right, and then the last thing we're going to talk about in the popularity section is popular patterns of Viking glass. So let's show off a few of these unique ones, like the raindrop pattern. And then next up is the Queen Anne. And then we have the Oscar. And then the fancy square. And then there's the moondrop. And then the icicle and window. And then radiance. And then the last one up, I believe, is the Addy, is what it was. So yeah, like I said, guys, very popular stuff out there. I mean, I see why everybody's out there collecting this Viking glass, because as you guys can see here, really cool pieces, great colors, and a lot of different styles and patterns you can be out there looking for. So I mean, there's a lot of options if you're going to start collecting the Viking glass. All right, so let's get on to the value of your Viking glass. All right, so let's tackle the value of Viking glass. And I always like to start with condition. And it seems like lately we've been doing a lot of glass-related videos. So condition always remains the same. You want no chips, no cracks, and no repairs. Now you're probably wondering, how do I identify Viking glass? Now this can be a little tougher. Now you're going to want to probably buy a collector's guidebook or use a lot of online references to make sure you know if it is Viking glass, what kind of style you have, what kind of pattern you have, when it was made. I mean, all of that information is going to be your best friend when it comes to identifying what you have and then displaying it as well, because the more information you have, the better off you're always going to be. Now, Viking Glass actually used stickers to mark their glassware, which is, good and also not so good, because stickers didn't stay on these pieces a lot. So that makes it very tough to identify these pieces of glass, and it's going to require you to do a lot of research. Now, if your Viking Glass pieces have the sticker on it, congratulations, your job is so much more easier because you know what you have, and it's going to be a lot easier to look up what style, what pattern, and it's going to be so much easier to, it's just going to make your life easier. I mean, that's the best way to put it. So yeah, definitely, if you don't have those stickers, put the work in and figure out what you have, just like anything you're going to be collecting. All right, so let's talk about the monetary value of Viking Glass. Now, actually, it's a really great thing to get in right now because I still think it's in its infancy stage of collecting. So you can get it for fairly inexpensive prices, but I think the prices are going to start going up on this. So I think this is something you want to definitely keep in mind. If you want to start collecting, now is the time to get into it, because most pieces you can get anywhere from $5 to $50 for your more common pieces. Now, if you're to delve into more rarer pieces, you're looking at anywhere from $50 over $1,000, as we'll talk about here in a few minutes with our top three. So, I mean, that tells me that if you can buy it cheaper now, and there is stuff that's going for that big prices in the hundreds to thousands of dollars, I mean, I think it's a really great thing to get involved with and start collecting if you're looking to go down this road. So, I think, being so young in this collecting stage where I think people are just starting to get into it, it's one of those things I will recommend to people if they're looking for something to collect. Viking Glass would be one of them. All right, I know we've been off for a few weeks. I've missed this segment. This is the top 3 most expensive pieces of Viking Glass that I have found that have sold. All right, so number 3 on the list is actually a persimmon, there's that word again, diamond post compo, and it sold for over $450. Now, number 2 on the list, and you'll see a little pattern here, number 2 on the list is the amber owl fairy lamp, which sold for over $565. And then number 1 on our list today is the blue frosted owl fairy lamp. This sold for over $1,000. I mean, these are really cool pieces. I just absolutely love this Viking glass. The more I've done research on it and done a lot of looking up on them, this Viking glass is really cool, and it's starting to pull those bigger numbers on values. So, I mean, it's definitely something I'm going to be on the lookout for to start, picking up to resell at our shop. So I'm actually really excited about, finding out all this information about Viking glass. But don't let those high prices, scare you, because I'm going to show you guys here, there is a lot of eBay listings out there that you can get this stuff fairly cheap, really nice pieces, really good condition. I mean, these are really great quality American-made glass that I would highly recommend you guys get into. All right, guys, I mean, if you want the big rundown of Viking glass, to me, I think this is a great thing to start collecting. I like the fact that it's made in America. I like the quality, and I like the styles that they put out there in patterns. I think they're amazing, and I think you guys will like them too. I mean, once you guys see this video, hopefully I've brought you on to Viking glass and some amazing things out there. And I want to thank a lot of the viewers that suggested Viking glass, because there was a lot of you guys suggesting it. It just never got to the top until this time. So, I mean, I'm glad I got to look up a lot of stuff on it and do a little bit more research than I already knew. I mean, this stuff is really cool, and I definitely recommend you guys get out there and start collecting some of this Viking glass. All right, guys, that's our collecting video for this week. So if you guys want to do me a favor and smash that like button, comment below if you guys have any history with Viking glass at all. I know it's fairly new to the collecting game, so I know there's some of you out there that have started collecting it. Let us know, what should we be looking for? What should we avoid? Because, the more information we all have, the better it is for everybody, and I think it's going to make it so everybody's, making money in this game we like to play, in this reselling, collecting game that we like to do. And of course, if you get some time, hit that subscribe button. We got so many collecting videos come up. The antique life videos have been doing really well, so we're going to keep doing those. Auction adventures will be coming up again soon, just hitting that little lull in the middle of the summer with no auctions. So tons of content coming up. We appreciate everybody that's supporting us. I mean, this is such a fun ride we've been having. So thank you guys again, and me. Oh, actually, no. Let's talk about next week. Next week, we are going to do another collecting video, and our topic next week is going to be salt and pepper shakers. And I've done a lot of research on these guys, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy the salt and pepper shakers. There's a lot of great history behind those. I think you guys will definitely enjoy. So that's it for this week, guys. And me, when I always talk about collecting, it's always about your memories over money. See you guys later.